having the happiest of thoughts, or at least trying to. It was quite a April Fool's. My dog died, and man, he was a good dog, a very good dog, very good boy. Fucking irresponsible people, man. It sucks how people are like they are, just because they can't understand what life is, or that it's only a moment that they get to enjoy. And I'm thinking right now that it's better to get the in your mind, get the happiest of thoughts of the moments that you had with that either animal or person. Maybe even moment, not sure. But it's important to do that because it fucking crushes your midsection, your chest. It's a hard blow to that part of the neuron community. But I digress. I think it's understandably upsetting that irresponsibility gets to a point that enables you to have that experience of loss, of trying to suppress an anger over your belief that we all are victims of the people who keep on hoarding stuff and keep on making things worse for everybody else, so they have to resort to cannibalism in the personal, financial, and sometimes actual way. And it's people that don't have remorse over what they do to other people and to other things and other beings, and it's the same kind of attitude that you get either with the billionaire class or millionaire class, because to be honest, all of the billionaires and most of the millionaires got their fortunes through hoarding, through trying to avoid paying their share to the community that made them rich in the first place. And it's horrible to think that it's as simple as you not believing in your child, or not adequately paying attention to them, or even not loving them or wanting them, and that brings that kind of people into the world because they don't have somebody to call father or somebody to call mother sometimes. But in the billionaire class, I think it's important to say that it's, if you see the pattern, all of their dads are fucking pieces of shit, and they were awful parents to them. So they get to be awful to other people because I'm not sure if revenge is the best way to make your daddy proud, even if they don't love you or they didn't even want to have you. I'm pretty sure that those people are to blame for every single fucking problem that exists, and it's awful to think that their consequences are making, or their actions are making other people have consequences, like not having a life to look up to or to try to enjoy. They just feel the urge to be assholes and to spit on the other person's face while they smile at them. So it's awful how the hypocrisy is only particular to that kind of people who don't care because they weren't cared for. It's mostly I don't want to generalize, because I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of millionaire people who agree with this statement, and that have seen themselves as business people, as people who run in circles of very wealthy people. They see those attitudes and they don't call them out because it's not convenient, because it's not good for business, it's not good for relationship or quote unquote networking. It's kind of upsetting that we get to decide that they are the leaders, they are the ones to admire, the ones to look up to, or the ones to try to be. And they're not. Throughout history, never in a day, I'm pretty sure that this is correct, but there has never been a day in which everything was okay because people hoarded wealth. Because they didn't want to pay taxes, because they didn't want to be subject to certain laws or to be able to take advantage of people or have control over them because they don't know what love is. That's why. And it's awful to again, it's awful to say it. And I know I sound judgy, but that's not the intent. But those are people who don't have love in them because they don't know what it is, because there was never either a mother or a father to show them, even if they were there. Because usually in those kind of circles, and I'm not only calling out people who have wealth, I'm also calling people who have money, or the people who are in the mid section, or the people who don't have anything, or the people who actually live in the street. There's always that attitude of I want more for me because I'm the important one. Nobody else matters. It doesn't matter that I believe in a guy that said, you know what, dude, love yourself and love others. Be a community. Cooperate. That's how you fucking progress. And that's so fucking smart. That's in that part of the religion, every religion that I've actually read about, it's that part, that advice, dude. You're doing it wrong. You're hoarding. Stop it. You're being a fucking idiot. Stop it. You don't have to kill anybody over resources. You don't have to invade anything over resources. You don't have to try to gain control of everything. If you cooperate, we will all be great because we all make the actual things that make you rich. You don't make anything. You make shitty decisions that affect millions of people sometimes, and you don't care. Because billionaires are a class of their own. They believe that they are better because this is why I say that you're not a racist. That you're not a racist. I believe that wholeheartedly. I know you're not a racist, but you do believe that your skin somehow not being able to process the sun makes you special. And that's the only thing that you think that makes you God worthy or chosen or apt to take over things and to be in charge. You're dumb because that idea has been tried before and it always fucking falls down. Look at what's happening right now. Those people are in charge. Those people are obviously cheating. They're obviously lying. They are risking and sending our children to war just because they want more. And that's fucking awful because they think they are successful because they use a suit and they have a lot of money and they have a lot of power or control over people. And man, that's why they don't enjoy their lives. I mean, they get to travel, they get to fuck whatever or whoever they want, and that's fine. But they'll never know love, so they'll never know the true intent of what our consciousness allows us to think about life. We are able to understand that treating each other well is the way to go because we are the same thing. It doesn't matter if your skin has melanin on it or not, if it's able to process the sun's rays or not. None of that makes you special. Nobody's more than anybody else, and nobody's more or better than you because we all have exactly the same capabilities of achieving something in this life and actually enjoying it and being happy and getting to the point where you try to actually involve yourself in your life and enjoy it and get to the point that you simply smile every fucking day because everything's great. I may not have a lot of money, but at least that has been my experience. And it started since I was like very, very young. I wanted to know what the fuck I was capable of doing, and I already proven that to myself, but I want to do it in a better way next time. Not maybe not better, different, but still good. I mean, the first attempt was pretty good, and I love that project, and it's already there. It's already done. So now I'm now going to the second one, and that second one's going to be tricky. But it's something that I desire to do. I love making songs, and I don't call myself a musician because I suck at playing guitar, but I kind of enjoy every single aspect of every instrument. I thoroughly enjoy playing three things mainly, which is the drums, the guitar, and I like to sing. I'm not sure if that counts, but I love doing that, and that's what has become my life, and I'm at peace with myself because of it. Because even though what they will say or what they will think or how we say in Spanish, el que dirán, is important in a certain amount of or in a certain way, It's not for allowing it to control your life, because that el que dirán will eventually get to you, and you will be unsatisfied, and you will be with somebody that you don't like, and you don't even like, let alone love. You don't even like, and with whom you had children with. And that's fucking awful, because that's the result that you get. People like billionaires who don't give a fuck about sending your kid to war because they just want to profit more, and they want their buddies who make guns have more profit this year. I mean, it's a pretty good time to invest, I guess, in that kind of adventure, or I'm not sure, a corporation. I'm not sure what that is anymore, because it's not a even a difference in the social aspect, because we all come from the same place. It's just that when we get money, we start to relate ourselves more with people who have money, who have been for generations involved with money, and they don't care either most of the times, because they end up doing what their fathers did just for the bottom line, just to be able to be what they call successful, even if they affect a lot of people's lives or experiences. They don't care about that. So that they end up being a nurse who goes and vaccinates a puppy to against rabies, and then 4 fucking days later he's dead. How's that fair? And it fucking sucks, man. He was a good boy. But I guess we have to move on, and that's the hard part, because it feels wrong that one of those people are usually, or most of the time, are people that cause all the problems, accidents, and other type of things that affect a lot of people, and they don't care. Because since they don't know love, they don't have anything to live for, so they think that they can just waste their time instead of investing in themselves and not doing what other people expect of them, or wish of them, or had the intention of guiding, but it's not guiding, but a little bit of more like a push. And then we end up doing things for people who do the same thing, and things that we don't even like doing. Instead of dedicating ourselves to what we love to do, we say, nah, fuck it. The classic statement of study something that earns, not something that fucks you up mentally, right? Or that makes you a hippie. And it's not even that, man. I've known a lot of good doctors. I've known a lot of good teachers, lawyers, all even lawyers, which usually are that kind of person. Even there's decent people, and people who are worth the while not getting to know, because they do what they're supposed to do for their communities, which is do what they love, and defend who they feel rightfully able to defend, so that they can. I mean, again, they sometimes defend fucking shitty people, but that's not the point. There are people who emancipate themselves from the same kind of attitude that their buddies have, because el que no tranza no avanza, or that who doesn't fuck somebody over doesn't get forward, or doesn't move forward, right? That's the fucking mentality that we have sometimes, and that's fucking sad, because I see people from all lengths of life do the same thing, and advise their children that they are supposed to study something that they will enjoy, just because it lets them to have money. And again, they end up meeting people that don't even like themselves, so it's only appearances, and they end up getting married because it's something they need to do, because their parents wanted them to get married, even though some of them are gay. And then when a conference, or when one of those meetings that they have politically goes to a certain city, and the right-leaning candidate is there, making their appearance, and all these young men and old men come to the conference, and they are together, and then there's suddenly a lot of apps that are oriented to the homosexual community end up crashing, right, or being overly used. So it's not even funny to see some of the politicians that currently are in charge, and seeing them, they are obviously gay, man, and they have their wives and they have their children that they never wanted because, or maybe not even gay. Maybe it's just somebody that they didn't want to marry, and they ended up marrying them, and it didn't matter, right? Because that's what's supposed to be done. Maybe you're a lifelong bachelor. As long as you're okay with the idea of being alone, everything's okay, man. Get to know people. Do your thing. Don't do what's supposed to be done because that makes a shitty person. And I'm not saying that's impossible, but sometimes I've even seen people who are of that intent, and they still try to stay positive, right? But it's hard when you don't know that you're not supposed to do what others expect of you, but you're supposed to do what you have inside. And we all can sweep the streets, and we all could do the things that need to be done, unclog drains and whatever, and take care of old people and take care of children, and we all take turns doing it. As long as we do that, then we can manage. If there's not a hoarder on the top, we can manage all ourselves just by letting computers and machines do what they do and help us in that way. And then we can free some time for everybody, and everybody gets to live a happy life, and nobody gets to hoard anything, because hoarding is a mental disability. It's a mental illness. We've seen it with the people who hoard pee or poo or jars of stuff or magazines or newspapers, and we call them mentally ill. So why is that different than somebody that only takes and takes and takes out of people's time, out of people's experience, out of people's enjoyment of life? Because if they don't enjoy it, they become numb as well, and then they don't care for helping the ones that are aware of this, and because it's too hard, they don't want trouble. And then comes the day that they are supposed to die, and they don't know what the fuck happened, and everything happens in the blink of an eye, and they may have had happy moments, but most of their lives it was only violence and hypocrisy and smiling fakely and doing things that they never wanted to do just to please other people, and it's fucking infuriating. And we don't have to go with the argument of if serial killer, well, that's what they do. They love to kill people. No, that's not it. Anything that you want to do in life, you are able to do it as long as you want to do it. But you have to be alone for a while. If you're with somebody, it's harder because they get to right now. Hopefully, we can move beyond that. But right now, if you're with somebody, it usually requires some kind of not allowing yourself to go ahead and fulfill your dreams just because you have a family. I mean, what kind of excuse is that? Why do you put that weight on them? Why don't you wait? It's better to wait, to find yourself, find out what you love to do first. If you meet a person who loves you, man, the love will be there. I promise you that love waits. But if you want to be the person who doesn't understand that other people also matter, and that we are not better than any actual color of skin that we have, because it's melanin. Again, it's only melanin. So why are we fighting about that? Why do we believe we're better than other people who speak differently than us just because we're on the top of the world? Man, there's no orientation. We call north just because that's what we wanted to do, but it doesn't mean that we're on the top or that they are on the top. Whoever wishes to think they are more worthy. And that's why I say again, you're not a racist. You're a dumb cunt that starts to think in their infancy that they are better than somebody just because their skin is able to process the sun or not. Your ancestors lived in cloudy climate. That's why you don't have melanin. That's the only reason. That doesn't make you chosen or better or dignified to be able to control everybody or to tell everybody what to do. Look at Orange Nero, what he's doing. He believes that he's better than everybody, and we all can see he's the worst. It's the worst person that I've ever known of. Because even criminals when the 20s were Al Capone and all those people. Even they had honor because they helped their communities. Billionaires don't help their communities. They drain the communities, they drain their time, they drain their money, they drain the experiences or potential experiences that they could have just because they want more money. They don't share with the people who made them rich. They fuck them over, us over. That's why I believe that no system is corrupt. No system in theory, in actual paper, no theory is incorrect. Capitalism, socialism, communism, and it's funny, in a parenthesis, it's funny how people who believe in the most communist guy ever hate communism, and they stand behind a guy that's fucking all of us over, like Nero did, watching Rome burn. And that's the kind of fucking idiot that we have right now. And that's the fucking idiot that never learns that love is the answer. The Beatles were fucking right. If you have love in your life for yourself first, then you'll be able to get love outside. Because if you don't know what fucking love is, then you'll subject yourself to abuse or to be abused, to blackmail or to being blackmailed, to obligation, unnecessary obligation. Because at least in my experience, I get to love my wife every fucking single day that I've since I've met her. Since she first kissed me, that's the kind of love that I wish for everybody, so that everything could fucking get fixed. Because it's really simple. If we cooperate, if we organize like the most fucking intelligent civilization, as we like to call ourselves, can do, then we'll be able to detect comets easily that may fuck us over. We may be able to expand our horizons and to leave our solar system even in our maybe not our lifetime, but a couple of generations. And we can do that. But if we keep on letting fucking idiots send our children to die just so that they can profit and their buddies can profit, just so that they can take over land and people and resources, then we're gonna be in a shithole. Because it's fucking amazing how we cannot understand that those people don't deserve to be in charge, because they are fucking everything over since 1985. When was it was the 80s with this actor idiot that got to be president. Since then, everything has been fucked up. But on the 50s, the most powerful nation in the world, it was actually one of the fucking best experiences that have ever existed. Because they taxed the millionaires, because they taxed them a lot. Because it's fucking, yeah, you earn a lot of money because you use the community, so fucking invest in the community again. What are you talking about? My capital. What are you're the most socialist fuckers that I've ever met. Because you don't pay taxes, or pay the least taxes you can, because you have buddies and the politicians and all that, and you don't pay taxes, and you don't invest in communities, you don't do anything, you just hoard, you take for yourself from others. That's what you're doing. You're not successful. That's the most mediocre fucking mentality that I've ever got to experience, because I once thought like that. Because that's the culture. And we're supposed to be the biggest brain that has ever fucking existed, and we have the best technology, and we call ourselves civilized, but yet we keep on fucking wasting time on these people and their fucking wars and their fucking poverty requirements to keep the middle class scared so that they don't revolt against them and eat them. Because fuck, man, it's infuriating how you don't understand how oblivious you're being of your own existence, depending on the rest of us. If we don't work for you, you're fucked. You're not gonna be able to do anything, and then you're gonna be old and you're not gonna be able to do anything, because you don't know how to do anything except cheat people, lie to people, quote unquote conduct business, because that's what you call that, doing that. And you fuck everybody over because you think that you deserve more, and everybody else is making you rich, and you don't understand that. You think you're divine, you think you're chosen, but you think that you can murder a lot of people just because you want to take their land. You think that's correct, and you call that anti-Semitism. And you believe that in your heart, even though you know that you're sick in the mind because you don't get to enjoy your experience, because you're doing the same thing that your daddy did, not have a family that they wanted. Probably they were gay, probably they didn't even want to have kids, but they did, and they didn't pay attention to you, and that's why you became a dick. That's why you became an asshole. And I get to lose my dog because of you. It's fucking insane that we're allowing ourselves to do that to ourselves. We're the same thing. We come from the same place. You say you believe in God, but then you do everything you can to show that you don't actually believe in any God. And I'm not a religious guy. I don't care for religion. I know they all have the truth in them. All of them. Every single fucking religion that I've understood or read about has the truth well documented. They disguise it in fairy tales and lies and things that are parable, and then you justify your actions with the shitty parts that are trying to teach you a lesson. It's not an instruction, it's a warning. And you don't understand that, but you call yourself religious because you don't even read your instruction book, and you let other people read it for you. So what happens if you go and buy a house and you let another person read you the contract and you don't read it yourself? What do you think is going to happen, or what is the risk there? You're going to get fucked over, and that's what their game is. It's not being successful or being important or controlling. It's fucking everybody over and fucking everything, because they intoxicate our rivers, because they intoxicate our air, because they drop bombs on whoever the fuck they want, even killing more than 100 little children in Iran recently. It's fucking insane. And then they try to say, oh no, it's the other guy's missile, but it's their missile because they're the only ones who use that kind of missile. So it's fucking interesting how they're trying to twist everything. And it doesn't matter how much they try to justify themselves. That's why they need all the magazines. That's why they need to make themselves famous or important or controlling or quote unquote in charge, because they are insecure and they are afraid that they're going to die one day, and they don't understand death that way. They don't understand that death is the best teacher for showing yourself love, for understanding that enjoying the moments, it's what matters. So they get to think that if they act a certain way that benefits them only, it will be okay, because in the end they can repent themselves and their God will actually absolve them of any kind of responsibility or forgive them. And that's not going to happen, dude. If our God exists and it's so loving, that's the understanding that it has. And you're not going to be forgiven. If you're a shitty person with intention, then you're fucked. Since the moment you look in the eyes of somebody that trusts you and you fuck them over, you're done. And you get to experience hell because you're going to be always afraid of dying. And that's why you act the way you do. You want to show off and say that you're important because you care a lot about what other people think of you and what others expect of you and what they think that success is. Success is living a life worth living. That's the only success that I know. If you think about it, even scientifically, think about it in that way, and that's the only thing that we can actually consider a truth. It's not voting for what team or what color or what flag or being part of whatever community. It's not about the team, it's about the message. If you love yourself, you'll be able to learn to love others. And in there is where you can actually build a community that's able to avoid us losing everything because a super volcano happened and then we don't know what to do. Or a comet comes really close and fucking hits us, and then we don't know what to do, and we haven't prepared because we're busy with war, because we're busy fucking each other over and creating chaos with financial issues. So we can even avoid, because money doesn't even need to exist for us to actually live a decent life, a fulfilling life. We just need to organize and understand that we're a community and not fuck everybody else over. We need to stop thinking that mediocrity is the success that we all should aim for. It doesn't matter how much money you have. And the more people understand that, the more that we'll be able to achieve that goal of not depending on fucking idiots, egotistical maniacs drive us to the ground because of their greed and their forms of understanding what human nature is. But I've gone off track. I was sad and now I'm kind of upset again. But anyway, I hope you liked what I said, and if you don't, or if you get angry, I mean that's on you, man. I don't even believe that anybody's gonna hear this, but if somebody does, and is able to understand, maybe things differently, maybe not the way I'm seeing it right now, but actually read your book, man, and stop believing in the magic and focus on the message, and you'll be able to understand what I'm trying to say right now. I don't believe in any religion because I understand again that they have the truth written down and it's there, it's the instructions, and yet they keep on misinterpreting it for their convenience. And they keep trying to tell you that everybody else is your enemy when they believe the exact same thing. So that's why I think that they are wrong, because it's not about the team. It fucking doesn't matter. I promise you it doesn't matter. You can believe that it does, that's fine, as long as you read your fucking book and stop believing in the fairy tales and the falsities that are there, and the violence and the misogyny and all that fucking stupidity about punishing your servants and paying somebody a goat so that they can marry their rape child. It's fucking horrendous. Again, those are the messages that are supposed to be warning you about not being a fucking dick. It's not an instruction booklet on that regard. It's an instruction booklet to make you understand that you need to be a good person, a decent person to yourself first, so that you can understand how being decent to your neighbor is beneficial to you as well. That's why you live in gated communities. That's why you don't trust anybody. That's why you don't believe that anybody wants to be near you because they love you, because you don't trust anybody and nobody trusts you because how you are. And that's about all I have to say on the subject. Hopefully it made sense. Again, if you get angry, think about why. I don't care if you believe in a god or in 7 gods or in 1,000 gods, or if you don't believe in any. If you're that kind of person, you're still going to go to hell, and it's not going to be on the next life or after you die. You're living it right now. I understand that now. I understand what hell is. The hell is not living your own life. It's allowing other people to live it for you, and you never get to do whatever the fuck you want to do. That's hell. Again, hopefully that made sense. If you get angry, again, think about it. Why? I don't mind. If you don't like me, that's fine. But it needs to be said. Mediocrity needs to stop being called success or gratitude or whatever. We have to stop believing that the successful ones are the ones who have it all money-wise, but they have nothing inside, or most of them have nothing inside. That's why they keep on doing what they do, and the others conform to their status quo and rules, so they end up doing the same things. Or they may not participate, but they know about it, and they don't do anything because it's not convenient, again, for business or for social status. So it's dumb. But again, that's my belief. Hopefully you enjoy it. If you did, thank you for listening, and if you didn't, hope you have a great day anyway, man. I really do. Thank you.